on, Reg, but we're not quite ready. Say hello to everybody. No, say you're on.
Hello everybody, nice to see you.
But, hold on, we have to put on our glasses because it's a superhero song. It's a zero. You look pretty good, don't you?
Wonderful, couldn't be better.
It's a superhero show. Oh, what I must do before we start, sorry ladies and gentlemen, I am just going to link this to, oh well, I can't do that now. Afterwards, when I've done, I have to then tag it to the stories. Okay, well, as you can see, this is the Reggie and Henry show. And behind us, I would like to welcome everybody first of all, Reg.
Welcome everybody, wherever you are.
Wherever you are?
Wherever you are, you will enjoy it.
You will enjoy it. Now, look who we've got behind. We have a very special guest. Our very special guest, which is a man that I've known. How many years have I known you for? Seriously now? Like he's about 12 or 13?
Yeah, 13.
Are you that old?
I'm very old.
I've moved back into one of the best buildings I think in Sydney, and we have Anthony here helping us with the backstage pass thing here with our behind the scenes. We've got our theme tune playing, Sugar Song. You know that tune is created by an amazing group in England called Kodiak Island. If you are near an iTunes, it is absolutely essential you download it. These are British singers that never do better, do they, than British?
Wonderful, wonderful.
And this performance is by Kodiak Island, and they really are, you'll see me tagging them a lot, and they're really special. Now for me to continue with the show, I'm going to turn down the music. Anthony, thank you very much. This is all makeshift. We're going to actually get fantastic facilities. This is our outfit to celebrate the launch of our new studio.
Absolutely.
Do you think we've upgraded, Reg? Thank you, brother.
No worries.
You are the best. You're my music and my... oh, look at you go. That's fantastic. Thanks, brother.
No worries, thank you.
Awesome. I'm going to take my glass off. Do you think we've improved our facilities from Vaucluse? You like the view here, huh?
The view, 16th floor, is magnificent.
It's fantastic, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's beautiful in the sunny day.
And what about Anthony Becky? Can we give Anthony a bit of applause, please? Everybody, come on, come back here. This man, I got to tell you, is special. He drove down, how many years ago? 4 years ago?
5 years ago.
5 years ago, we hired a van, and at midnight, he came to pick me up in Surrey Hills, and he drove me down, and no one in the world would be able to have done what you did.
I wouldn't do it for my son.
No. You did such a good job. I stayed there for 5 years.
Yes.
Brother.
No
you're the
worries.
one. There
Thank
goes
you.
our
Thank
special
you so
guest star.
much.
Oh,
Enjoy.
what's your word? Come into view. What would you say is the one message, or the one thing that you live by on a day-to-day basis? The thing that you just know is your core, like you don't go past, say, a particular value or principle. What would it be? Of everything that you do in life.
Oh, I just pretty much wake up and just pray to God and say thank you, and like see the kids and family and go, yeah.
Be thankful.
Yeah.
Just be thankful.
I thank the Lord that you were back here. That's nice. So be thankful.
Yeah,
and
be
don't
thankful.
and don't forget. How do you make such good children? By the way, they're really. You should
I
see the
don't.
children he makes. How does that from that come the most amazing children?
We don't know. That's the thing.
Fantastic. A big applause to our special
Thank
guest
you
star.
so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. A special thanks, mate.
You're very
We have
welcome.
the vibe is here. Lots to talk about today, and this is the Reggie and Henry show. Reggie was, get into the camera there, Mr. Reggie. Reggie was a little bit ailing last week. What happened to you last week that you couldn't come on board? What happened to you, Reggie?
I had, the
Influenza of the ear.
in the eyes.
But you told me the ears.
Went to
He
the
told me
ears.
the ears, right?
Went to the ears.
And then it came from the eyes?
Yeah, and I couldn't walk.
No, you were
because
dizzy.
I was dizzy. In 5 days I was in bed practically.
Yeah.
And we have got wonderful doctors. He gave me
They love
medicine. 3 times a day I got a pill.
And you're
And
okay.
he told me in 5 days it will be finished. Exactly the 5 days or so.
But I have a question for you. Do you think possibly that the stress of the book, like bringing up a lot of stories, could be impacting on you a little bit? Be honest. Because this is honesty now.
Honest though,
Honest.
I love
I know you love it because it's
I love
stressful
it
at night.
because it gives you an idea what we went through.
I understand, but my question to you is, I get all of that. because what's happening is the more we're doing the memoir, the more you're remembering.
Yeah.
Has it or has it not given you some sleepless nights? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's all I want to know. Truth. Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we have really quite a special show. Welcome to all of you around the globe and around the corner. We are slowly but surely, I'm going to close this door. We are slowly but surely going to be building a community, and we're going to get a much better idea of who our target audience is and what we're trying to do. But let me just fill you in on the news. Are you ready?
Absolutely ready.
Am I speaking too fast?
Yes.
Slow down. How much? Half the speed?
Yeah. You have to slow down.
Slow down. 20%, 30%?
20%.
Okay, so here we go. All right, so first of all, it's been a very big week for us. I've moved to the new studio here, and we've been doing the final touches for the pitch. So the pitch is a document which we're going to be presenting to people who self-publish and people who publish. I have some amazing people behind me. First of all, the man himself. He's the memoir giver. I'm the author of the book. And basically, Kim Taylor in New York, Paris Cutler in Sydney. By the way, log on to pariscutler.com. She's quite an extraordinary person who's created and actually published 5 of her own books. I've done some other projects with Paris, and if you are in the business of looking at what you do, whether it's in your workplace or in your own business, all I can say to you is fantastic. And Kim on the other side of New York, who I'm torturing in some way or another, but amazing professionalism I've got around me. And we already have they have these things called secret shoppers. We have a secret reader in Canada, and I'm getting the breakdown as the chapters are being done. We've just put a progress report. The pitch is being done. We have a new studio. The pitch will be starting to be sent out next week. If anyone has any ideas for people that they know personally who are authors or people who might be interested in our book, that would be marvelous. And I also put to bed, it took me 5 weeks of getting around the concept of the rabbis and the riddles. And so after we had our little session with you, I'm going to go through one more time. So the process is, after it's all kind of like contoured into a chapter, which we call a session, Reggie has the final yes, it's going, or no, he needs some changes. Often it could be factual, or I'm not conveying an emotion properly, or too much of something, not enough, because he's the man that has to okay it. And then it goes to New York, to Kim to finesse it and edit it, and then it comes back here to us, and then we add to it. Is this what you expected, by the way? Is this what you expected?
No.
Why?
Because I expected to tell you the story and that's it.
And what are you getting instead?
Instead, high professional people.
Yeah, the people around us are amazing.
Yeah, and they do a wonderful job.
With their heart, right?
With the heart, and they're able to convey what I'm saying.
Yes. So I think the thing is as well, just to maybe for a few minutes just park back on what is the memoir, how was it created, and what are we trying to do here. Very quickly, my mother wrote a book. It took 5 years, called The Right Time to Speak, which is out on Amazon.com for those people who want to pick it up.
Aneta
Weiner, yes. Reg, you promote it. Go on, it's right. Is it a good book? Should people buy the book?
Absolutely.
Why? Is it fantastic?
It took us 5 years to do it.
Right.
5 years writing.
So after the 5 years, at the launch, my father said, right, now I think it's my turn to convey the story. And what happened was interesting, because you went to the doctor for a general checkup, and what did the doctor say to you after the launch, before you were writing your book?
Be careful.
What did you have to be careful about?
Because it might impact your health.
Might impact your health. But you said, I've had my son for 59 years. If I can handle my son for 59 years... No, he said it could impact.
It could impact. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what else he said to you, if you remember. He said to you, and you told me that it could be possible that you could start losing the details of these stories, that your memory might go.
Also, if you're going to do it, do it fast.
Do it fast.
Because it can happen with my young age that I lose certain memories.
Really? So what happened was, you had come to Melbourne, and we decided that we were going to do a memoir. You were going to sit down. I did not realize that you had given that information. And before I knew it, my father started writing his autobiography. And I can tell you now, I was disappointed is the wrong word, but I thought, wow, we're never going to be able to sit down in the way I had dreamed. And I accepted that because, of course, you went through the story. And then somehow last December, you said, okay, I've done the autobiography. He did. He's already got an autobiography written. My father's much more efficient than I am. And basically what happened was, you said, can you help me? And I tried to help you, but the issue was, the minute you have such a distinctive style of writing, the minute I tried to help you, it looked like me, it sounded like me. So I said, listen, Reg, can we please just do my dream and sit down and do it on audio and capture it? And you said,
Yes.
it was fantastic. So where we're at with that is, the concept is, it's shaping as it's being written. Obviously, what my job is I'm actually being handed gold in my hand. So there's absolutely no excuse, no reason why a life can be given, not just to the story, but the message behind it, and also the way I am supposed to be carrying on the heritage. So I'm taking it very seriously. I do my work in New York with Michelle and all that sort of stuff, and this is my only other project, and I'm doing it pretty much full time. And the idea is, my responsibility is to take a massive amount of information, and condense it into not just the story, not just the heroic little boy. My father is the superhero, the little superboy hero, the Astro Boy. That's Reggie. That was Reggie in the Holocaust. He was like, I tell you what, that he could have, I cannot believe what he went through, what he got away with, how he spoke to people directly. Unbelievable. So that's Reggie in the war. And my responsibility is to condense it, to compile it, to get, and we've got a few markets. So our market is obviously the Holocaust market. There's 2 books, but for the first book, it's the Holocaust market, it's the self-help market, it is the 50 plus people who've been displaced in the workplace and want to know and understand where their direction is, all that sort of stuff. I'm finessing the social media messages because there's such a breadth of things that we could be doing, and you'll be seeing things are going to be up-keyed a little bit. We're going to be getting a website, the pitch is going out, and the messaging will be starting to become much more clear. I'm just trying to work out what is resounding. Any questions?
No questions.
How was your week, by the way? What did you get up to?
What I got up to?
Yeah.
I get up in the morning.
No, but what did you get? What was? Didn't Lillian come? Lillian came from New York.
Yeah.
Your daughter.
My daughter come from New York.
And she's an architect.
She's the best architect in New York.
What does it feel like? Get back in the camera, Reggie. What does it feel like to have come from? You were born in 1928. Your whole life, for the first 12 and a half years, was spent in a small little village, Shtetl, in Poland. Did your dreams extend to having one of your children being a leading architect in New York?
No, because when you're born in a small shtetl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? You go to school. After you finish school, the father sends you to a yeshiva for 2 years, further studies, and then when you come back from the yeshiva, he makes sure that you've got a profession.
And a wife.
A profession first, because you have got to provide.
But
your
New
wife.
York was never in.
No.
So let me ask you this, okay? But then you came, you escaped, you made a whole new life for yourself in Australia.
Yes.
But when you were here, did you think that one of your children would be living in New York as a leading architect?
No.
So it's beyond your dreams.
So look, what we did, my wife and I, gave our children the best education, which we didn't have.
So this was not part of your dream?
Yes.
That was not, having Lillian going to New York was not part of your dream?
We didn't realize.
Is she a New Yorker?
And how?
How? What are the signs of Lillian being a New Yorker?
What are the signs?
Yeah.
She is fast, she is honest,
And she wears all black?
and she wears
All black. And she's a celery stick. She's thin.
She is thin, and she
She
is
speaks
got
fast?
high shoes.
High shoes. So that's New York? So, so that's
I had a pleasure taking Lillian to the synagogue on Saturday
That's
morning.
great. Excellent. So that shows it's had a huge week. What would you say? Now we're going on to the news item. What would you say is your the number one thing that you've been picking up on the news feeds in your broadsheet that you still get delivered? They haven't stolen the paper anymore, have they?
No.
Because my father gets the newspaper delivered, and he's like, I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, why do you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Because our newspaper
Was stolen. So what he did was he'd get up at 5:30 in the morning, right, or 5 o'clock in the morning, and he would go down with his car to where the street meets the pavement of the thing where they.
And I found out.
And he spied on who was the thief.
Guess what?
What?
A dog.
A dog was the thief?
Yeah. The dog was walking around.
The dog was the thief of your newspaper?
Yes. He was walking with this babu.
And he grabbed the paper?
Yeah. And the fellow told him, go. And the dog.
And he ran with the paper?
Yeah.
So, but you told me that you were going to say to the thief, look, I don't mind if you steal my paper. If you really need the paper that badly, I'll buy you another one.
I will do the same because I pay for the newspaper once in 6 months.
Right, so you'll buy...
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So the dog was the culprit?
Yes.
You're kidding me. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So besides that, what news items were hitting you this week? I've got some beautiful flowers today, by the way.
Beautiful.
Yeah. In celebration of our new studio, if you've just joined us, this is the Reggie and Henry show. We've just had a quick pre-see of, we're now in a new studio. We are doing the superhero show. That's why we're wearing the superhero glasses. And we're now going to be talking about what news item has hit you most this week, Reggie.
I tell you something.
Tell me something.
I found out that the newspapers, a year ago were not selling well.
Right.
So they came to realize why.
Why?
Because they needed on the first page tragedies.
Tragedy and death.
And
that sells.
And killings.
And killings.
And then the newspapers were,
So the Sydney Morning Herald has become tabloid.
yeah.
And sensationalist.
So I do.
So what do you
what
find
I
now?
do?
Yeah.
And
What do you do?
I only read the sports section.
I mean, you only read the sports section.
Yes.
But that's what you told me that happened to you when you first came to Australia. They only wanted to read the sports section.
Yeah, because
Why? Why? So you
I
really,
was working.
You only read the sports section?
Yes. I read the sports section
First.
first,
So you
then-
can stomach the rest.
and then the college.
So what do you honestly? But you told me this morning we were having a little chat, and you were telling me about what you were picking up in the news feeds. So what's the thing? You said there was a theme about shootings or something, killings. What's going on?
There's a shooting and killing in Sydney, in Melbourne, all over Australia, and all over the world.
Why do you say why? Why is that happening?
Why is it happening?
Yeah.
Because, as you know, people are jealous of one another. If somebody has got something, he wants to have it too. So to get it, he's got to kill it. To get it.
So, but what do people like us do? We know it's wrong. We know we're going to talk about it in our show. You know we're going to write about it in our book. Does it matter what we say? We're just two people. There's 7 billion people out there, Reg.
One voice counts. One voice
You
counts.
believe that? You really do,
Yes.
don't you?
When we have got the people are religious and not religious, I don't care. But what it says is, you love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yeah. So we've got to make sure that we have to at least be decent. I have a confession about that actually, because it's one thing to say that, and if you're really going to be like that, and especially because I've been reading and been working on that chapter, the rabbis is all about the spiritualism and being kind to people and all that sort of stuff, and it was just ingrained, and it was part of mysticism. It was a new spiritual revivalist movement. So you were actually brought up in an extremely out there, amazing, a very forward Kabbalah.
Hasidic.
Yeah, but so it was about questioning And when you had the Torah that you asked the questions, it was anyway.
That's right.
Yes, and also it was about because the Orthodox Judaism started to go down a little bit because it was a bit too elitist. So the whole thing, the Hasidic thing was everybody was involved. Everybody. That's why the connection with the rabbi was so important. But anyway, so a true confession. So I thought to myself, well, it's easy to be kind. I'm kind. I'm a fabulous person. And last week I lost it on the phone at your place with NBN. I shouldn't have spoken like that. Although NBN is destroying this country and it is absolutely outrageous, but I'm going to tell you now, they were actually really right and I was wrong. And either way, I should never have yelled at her. And I really, it's wrong. So for all of you out there, there is a way to check your behavior. Anyway, so what happened was, for the 20th time, it's taking you 2 years to get a connection that takes in America a day. In Pakistan, takes 2 days. We have slid so badly down the, efficiency of our technology. Anyway, you're finally after 2 years.
19.
Tomorrow, and I'm getting mine on the 29th. So when she called up, and she was like, well, it's going to be on the 29th, I started going, what are you talking about the 29th? And I'm sorry I did that. So the moral of the story is one must never, you have to be kind consistently. Okay. So your thing is about the shootings. I'm going to just say to you, you didn't want me to discuss it, but I'm going to discuss it. I've actually written an article about it in my LinkedIn, and that is, I wrote a really interesting article, and my article is saying is, in my opinion, this country is regressing in some areas. And I think it is important to have an opinion, not to be nasty and not to be disrespectful of people in power, but this is what I see. They just had a major conference in the Pacific Island area. We are part of the South Pacific. We are the biggest power in that whole region. I'm not talking about China, which is on the other side, but Papua New Guinea, Tuvalu, Tonga, Fiji, New Zealand, we're like the America of this region. And I was stunned that they had this communique that they wanted to unify the whole of the South Pacific region, that we have to do something seriously about the carbon emissions. It's a big problem. It's not for us anymore, but it's for Zoe and Max, my niece and nephew, your grandchildren. It's a major problem. The weather out there has been too good for the last 4 months. People know it's the number one concern going into the last federal election. Environment and global warming was the number one concern. So what they did was they refused, this country, I couldn't believe it, refused to sign. And it's about the coal industry. And I have to say that a lot of people were very critical of Julia Gillard, but she brought in the carbon tax. And what the carbon tax did was, we were one of the first countries in the world to recognize that the carbon emitted could be traded off for green energy. So we took a huge leap, a big progressive leap, and as soon as the new government came in, we already paid for the pain of what it was, the tax. It cost the country a lot of money, and they rescinded it. And I just think we're going backwards in our energy policy. We're going back in, especially you would understand, refugees are treated here in an appalling manner. The NBN thing, which has cost this country billions of dollars, is going to be, how it's taken nearly 2 years. What they've done is to cut the cost. They've got fibres to the curb, and from the curb, they've got an old technology coming into your home. There's problems day in and day out, and you know what's happening? Within a year or two's time, we've got like 5G, which is a non-wire connection. All those billions of dollars will be obsolete in a year's time. It's not the country that I'm very worried.
What we've got to do, I want
Talk
to,
less.
I will send you to Parliament, become a member, a Minister of Energy and carbon copy,
I tell you.
and it's coal, and that's
But
the only,
it's the only way to shut me up. That's the truth, though. It's disappointing. Aren't you disappointed about Australia, what they did?
No.
You know what happened? They made the Prime Minister of Tonga cry. Listen, it's serious for them. It's really serious. You know, the water's rising. Anyway, so you think you should send me to Parliament?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Gewalt. Anyway, so that's my 2 bits worth. And now, the feature of the show, is, who is your superhero? What was the name of that man who was that Olympian?
Oh,
I forgot.
I forgot.
Oh no, we can't look it up. So what happened was in 1934. If you guys want to Google this, in 1934
there was a running.
there was the Nazi Olympic Games.
Yes.
And so this was when Hitler was at his most vitriolic worst, and it was right at the time when he was going through the theory that Jews are not evolved monkeys, black people are the same, that they have a gene missing. It was a particular thing about gays, blacks, Jews, gypsies, and basically we were subhuman.
Yeah.
So there was all this stuff pumping out, you know, hi Hitler, and it was all everyone was getting excited.
He was sitting on top?
He was sitting on top of the thing, right?
And the black fellow won.
And the black fellow won in front of his face. What did he do?
He got up so angry.
Did he?
And he was ready to kill him. To kill this black fellow.
And you know, it's so.
And
please look up that name, guys. It was. What was the games? 1934, right?
Something
like that. It was the Olympic Games in Germany, and it was
Berlin.
And it was an African American runner, and it captured your imagination, didn't it?
I loved it.
Where were you? Where were you when were you in Poland when you heard him win?
Yes.
In Krakow?
Yeah.
No, in
Chanów.
And you heard him, and what did you think to yourself? Fucking awesome. Bloody awesome.
It was on the radio, right?
And then he won?
He won. And we were sitting in the radio. He said, thank God for that.
Yes. That they really rubbished that Hitler. Yeah.
We blessed him.
Unbelievable.
I said to my father, invite him to Chanów, I'll take him to synagogue.
Absolutely. He was so amazing, wasn't he?
Oh.
What an amazing sportsman. And you know what? The pressure he would have been under. So that was your hero.
Absolutely.
It was hero. And tell me something, I'm going to remind you, because this is really interesting. It's talking about Olympic Games and heroes. So you went down to Melbourne, in what year, 1956?
In 1956, all right. So it was
Excuse me for a second, I'm just going to get some water. I'm thirsty. Do you want some water?
It's okay. No, I don't want.
Okay, carry on.
It was on Olympic...
In 1956 in Melbourne?
In Melbourne.
How did you get there?
I went by plane. It took the plane couldn't land from Sydney to Melbourne.
Couldn't do direct.
Because it was too far. So it stopped.
What?
It stopped on
How long did it take you to get to Melbourne?
4 hours.
It's like an hour now.
Yeah.
Move into the camera, Reggie. Everybody loves your corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had...
You went to Melbourne, yes.
I went to Melbourne.
Yes.
Right.
And
with my brother-in-law.
Martin.
And he was not interested in sport, he was in this business.
Doing business.
So I opened up the paper and to see what I'm interested in.
What you're interested to see?
Yeah.
What were you interested to see?
Soccer.
Of course.
And swimming.
Those two sports.
Those sports.
Why swimming, by the way?
Because it was, we had an Australian woman swimmer.
Oh my God. Dawn Fraser.
So that's
and so she captured your imagination.
Yes.
So she was a hero of yours.
Yes. I loved it.
Because she was the first woman to really.
Yeah.
I think it was Dawn Fraser. Yeah. Okay.
So I went.
Yeah.
Right. I went to the to the stadium.
Yes.
And it was.
How did you get tickets? You must have. Did you bribe somebody?
No.
How did you get tickets? For goodness sake.
I don't know what the story.
I don't.
I went to the kosher restaurant in Melbourne.
Oh my goodness. Of course.
And the
what was it called? Scheherazade on Ackland Street. Yeah.
So I asked the fellow, it was full. I asked the fellow, I can sit down? He said, you can sit down here, but 2 people are coming. You don't mind? Oh, of course I mind.
Where do you think I get my socialization skills from?
Yeah. So the fellow said, where did you come to Melbourne?
For, yeah.
So, to see something, and it cost a fortune, the tickets.
How much were those tickets back then?
I don't know,
Probably,
$40.
well, probably even now would be like $1,000 or something.
Yeah,
Impossible, right?
Yeah, possible.
So you thought you're never going to get in, right?
So they said, don't worry. We are
What?
TV. The TV came to Melbourne in Australia first.
That's right. In 1950. Oh, right. Because of the game.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they tell me there are TV men, TV men, and they go, what's his name? They took a car. Joseph Heinrich
No way.
is a TV
Installer.
installer.
Hold on.
But you have to go to buy
A uniform thing.
what?
Oh, like the overalls.
Overall.
No way.
So
Bullshit. Really?
you go to Myers to buy
An overall, an Aussie overalls. What colour?
Shoes.
What colour?
There was brown.
Yeah, that's right.
all
Khaki
over.
and black boots. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
So I went.
No.
I
So
went-
one minute. You went with a document that said that you were a TV expert installer production.
So I was sitting, not on the first row on top, on the second row, because the first row was TV and the radio, right? So there was a fellow.
One minute.
behind
So
me.
you're saying you were sitting behind you was all the media,
Yeah.
like everything was pumping out, all the radio and TV.
And
Okay,
in
yeah.
front of me
Yes.
was Prince Philip with one guard.
Prince Philip with one guard. What was he? What did he seem like to you? What did he seem like?
An ordinary person.
Yeah.
Nobody looked at him.
No.
No,
No,
that
so
was
because it's yeah.
Australia. you
Okay.
know.
Yes, exactly. Relax. Okay.
So-
Was he well dressed? British.
You know,
Fantastic.
you know,
Chris.
Sport,
but beautiful.
Sports.
Yeah.
So the fellow behind me was with a
And then with the mic, the microphone,
microphone,
And?
and he was speaking to the world.
to the world.
And he said, "We are going to
In what language?
English.
Okay.
We are going to. Its atmosphere is electric. We are going.
Tell me. The atmosphere is electric, and
we're going
it's
to.
experience live together.
Right.
Yeah. How were they giving it up? What were they saying? And it's the stadium is magnificent,
Yeah.
and the athletes
Yeah.
are superb.
And we are going to win, and the roof will go.
Will blow off. Okay. So drama.
So
Lots of drama.
So I said to him, the Russians don't understand English, but I speak Russian. So he gave
So one minute. So this was supposed to be for the world, a world broadcast.
World.
So
The
he
world.
so you said to him the Russians don't understand English for sure not. So you've lost half your audience in the
Yes,
world.
yes.
I can help you.
Okay.
I'll
I
help
speak
you.
Russian. I was in Russia during the war.
I want to convey this exciting message. So he thought you were doing him a massive favour.
Yeah.
So tell me, slow it down. So what did you do? He gave you the
He-
microphone. So he leaned down. He gave you the microphone.
microphone.
What happened, Reg?
And I spoke to Russian in Russian.
Tell me in Russian first of all what you said, slowly.
No.
Spasibo.
Спасибо большое.
Yeah.
You know, colleague is, you know.
Colleague. Anyway, tell me what you said in
know,
English then.
He was absolutely right. Atmosphere is electric.
So he said he was absolutely right. The atmosphere is amazing, and the
Amazing.
stadium is fantastic. Hold on.
Yeah.
And
And
the
I was-
atmosphere is going to go through the roof.
I was during the war in Russia.
So you're building up the announcement.
Yes, I love the Russian people.
Yes.
And by the way, I am a Hebrew.
I'm Jewish.
I'm Jewish.
Now this is at the time when Russia was controlled by
Stalin.
communist Russia, and basically religion and tradition and the communist state were completely at loggerheads. There was a
But
tremendous pressure
now-
for the Jewish people to be let out of communist Russia. And you said, by the way, I'm
Nobody
Jewish.
could get out for Russia. Nobody.
No.
Whether Jewish or not Jewish.
Okay.
And I
But
said,
especially the Jewish. Okay, anyway.
and
go.
I said,
But by the way, I happen to be Jewish.
Jewish.
Yes.
And I'm asking
Oh my God. What?
my uncle Stalin to let my Jews out.
Let my people go?
You know, we could go, and I finish up, Am Yisrael Chai.
Which means may the state of Israel and the
No.
Jewish people, no, may the people of Israel live, be strong.
So
So he's hearing you saying that.
So he went absolutely white in the face.
He went
was
white?
Shaking. He said, I can't come back to Russia. They'll kill me. He said, I've got an idea. Stay here. It's a wonderful
Do
country.
you think he stayed? He probably did. He had no choice. He was probably relieved.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is, your heroes are people that go and stand up for their rights. Stand up for your rights.
You speak what
Your conviction.
what is in your heart, but short.
He's telling him to be shortened. Yes.
Short.
Okay.
Not a long story.
No.
Because if you tell a long story, you lost them.
I understand. Well, that means we should be wrapping up. I find it impossible to actually. I love your story. Good on you, Reggie. Reggie.
I remember a story as it happened now. Can you imagine the head of state in England sitting in front of me?
Unbelievable. I will tell you this. For those people that wonder why it's taking a little bit longer than we had planned, although it's not, because at this point I had planned for September to be the launch of getting the pictures, is because Reg's memory doesn't only not recede, it gets empowered. And every night when he gets up the next day, I've got another 30 stories to digest, which is I'm not complaining. For me, I want to end up by saying I find it impossible to actually nominate any other superhero except the man standing next to me on my left.
Keep well.
No, did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? I'll say it again. I said I find it impossible. I will say slowly now. Maybe you did listen and you didn't want to listen. He's good, isn't he? I find it impossible to nominate any other person as my superhero other than my dad, Reggie. Mainly because he's had to put up with me. But I've shared with you, I think there are more than one lives. You have had many, many lives. And you're very good to work with. The public relations on this book is going to be simple and easy. And you're a character. So who else should I need to look further afield for?
Nobody.
No. So I think what we're going to do is, although we're going to take over time, we're going to end this by saying thank you so very much for joining us. Our community is growing slowly but surely. The progress of the book is going extremely well. We are now up to pitching for those people who have just joined us. My father is going from strength to strength. The story is getting better and better. He talked about the news item today, which was the violence in the world, and not to soften your voice in dissent against hate. And mine was global warming, and we ended up with the Olympic runner in Berlin who was black, and Hitler walked out of the stadium, and mine was Reggie. And you know how we're going to end? We're going to sing bells. A one, a two. So this is actually a traditional Yiddish song, and it's about the shtetl. So shtetl life, which is what we're writing about, was a unique situation. There were thousands of shtetls around Eastern Europe. They were little enclaves of Jewish communities. There was about over 1 million Jewish people living in shtetls. It was uniquely Jewish and Hasidic and Kabbalistic, and there is not one shtetl remaining after the Holocaust. This is a traditional song, bells.
Why? I want to tell you
Why?
the story of bells.
Oh, but yeah, no. We're just going to sing the song next week, Reg. We've gone over time. Reg, you told me to keep it short. We'll tell you next week. So you're going to be seeing a website. You are going to be seeing new improved facilities, so it becomes even more professional on YouTube. Thank you also Jackie Zuckerman, her husband Anthony, who is phenomenal. Delroy, look up Next on Scene. Look up pariscutler.com. Make sure you're tuned into Instagram on the Stories I Told My Son. If you're not happy about climate change, do something about it, and write articles and stuff like I have. And now we're going to sing. So this is about the lifestyle of the beauty of the family, and it's all in Yiddish. Okay, now I'm going to count you in. A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3. Bells, my shtetl bells, my shtetl bells, bunt Kinderwach. Bells, my shtetl bells, na 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 bunt na na. Oi 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 oi. Oi, 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 bells, my shtetl bells, Na 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 Wunder. What's that last word? Wunderbrach, no?
With
What is that?
this is a song, a Yiddish song. A fellow which lived in Poland.
Guess what? That's for next week. For now, this is. And your name?
Beg your pardon?
What's your name?
Joseph.
Say goodbye, Joseph.
Bye.
Thank you very much. This is
My
over
son
time. And
does not.
one of the dearest persons in my life, and everyone's dear to me, that's Risa, Saslow, Nicholson, who actually discovered my talents for TV and put me on TV in America, by the way. Risa and her family, Reed and Riley, and now this is a special announcement for your family. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the New United. With over 30,000 men and women around the world, we're uniting more of the world daily. Say goodbye, Reggie.
Bye.
Risa, we love you. Thank you all for joining us. Have the most amazing day. We miss you as well. No one like Risa, no one like all the people we know, because everyone's individual. Bye, Reggie. Say goodbye, Reggie.
Bye.
Say
Bye,
goodbye,
everybody.
Reed and Riley. Just
Bye, everybody.
there you go. See you later. Thank you so much for joining us. This is I Love You Too. Mwah. Bye.